Hello everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Marcelle Rose. I'm a registered nutritional therapist and health coach, and I specialise with helping people to fix their complicated relationship with food. This week we're on to our third session of the Community Health Programme. I hope that you've all been finding it really useful and been taking part in the challenges. Did any of you manage to do the 50-day food challenge last week? If not, don't worry, you can always catch up. The videos are still here in the group. Just catch up at any time. They don't have to be done in any particular order. So let's get on with the slides. So this week we're going to be talking about breakfasts. And as usual, we are going to be looking at improving your health at home, increasing energy, feeling good, perhaps losing a few pounds, and all this in just a 15 or 20-minute video. So, as with before, we're going to be looking at why eating for health is so important, and we're going to be looking at the guidelines for eating a healthy breakfast this week. We're going to be looking at habits. Do you have the same breakfast every day? And looking into perhaps making some changes. And we're going to be looking at some easy breakfasts for you to try. So let's talk about breakfast. We're going to focus on breakfast as it is the most important meal of the day. So why is breakfast so important? Well, a large and growing body of scientific evidence now supports the claim that breakfast really is a very important meal. The first thing to take note of here is the impact of not eating something at the start of the day. And this can be really serious and have serious implications for your health. For instance, research in the US reported a 27% increase in coronary heart disease amongst men who regularly failed to eat a meal at the start of the day. Skipping breakfast has also been documented to have a negative impact on cognitive performance, particularly for school children. And results from Finland suggest that eggs can also enhance cognitive performance in middle-aged men too. Now, for some people, they may like to take part in intermittent fasting or something called time-restricted eating. So there are instances where people don't necessarily have breakfast or they have it later on in the day. So I've got a little quiz for you here. And are you getting the most out of your breakfast? So let's go through the questions. Do you often skip breakfast? Do you have the same breakfast every day? Is your breakfast mostly beige coloured, for example, cereal, toast or bagels? Do you have a range of branded cereals in your cupboard? Do you feel hungry with an hour of eating breakfast? Do you rely on multiple cups of coffee or tea to get you through the morning? Do you often have cravings mid-morning? Do you find it difficult to concentrate and often think about food? So how many of these apply to you? Now, if you've said yes to 3 or more, then there is definitely room for improvement with your breakfasts. So what are the nation's favourite breakfast choices? There was a survey done in 2019 by the Hotels Group. So the recent survey found that the nation's favourite breakfast is a full English breakfast. And in a few moments, we're going to review how this measures up to our healthy breakfast guidelines. Now, in second place, it was branded children's cereals. Third place was a bacon sandwich, and fourth place was croissants and pastries. So let's look at the guidelines for what is a healthy breakfast. Number 1, always include a source of protein, as we've discussed before with every meal or snack. Include fruit or vegetables. Include slow release carbohydrates. So, for example, a really good quality whole grain toast. Include variety and avoid sugar and processed cereals. So, as with an earlier session, we talked about blood sugar balancing. And again, we want to have a look at this. It's so important to eat well and to get that balanced blood sugar that delivers the energy slowly over the course of the morning. And this will avoid the highs and lows and will flatten the curve, providing balance. So we really want to be going for that flattened curve. But we are seeking balance at all times. So let's have a look at how our nation's favourite breakfasts match up to the 5 guidelines. So this is the English breakfast. Now, it does have a source of protein. It does have, and that's in terms of the egg is really the good quality protein here. Does it have fruit or veg? Yes, we've got tomatoes and we've got mushrooms. It does have slow release carbs in the form of baked beans, and there is variety in there. So it's not processed, though it depends on whether there's any processed sausages or bacon amongst the plate, really. So definitely going for the eggs and the baked beans and tomatoes and mushrooms is a positive. Perhaps adding a nice portion of wilted spinach and greens to your dish would really finish it off nicely. Let's look at the cereals. How do they measure up? Well, unfortunately, cereals, even things like cornflakes and Krispies that we think, Rice Krispies, we think have no added sugar. If you look at the ingredients and look at the sugar included, that it does in fact have a fair amount of sugar, and it's not got anything else. It's not giving us any variety. It's not giving us any vegetables in there or fruit. It's not giving us the fibre that we need. It's very low in protein, so they don't really measure up at all, and it's certainly not going to balance our blood sugar levels. The bacon sandwich, again, not really providing us with very much. Yes, there's a bit of protein in the bacon, but white refined bread particularly not helpful. Again, no veggies or fruit and no fibre. And the croissants and pastries, again, same thing really, no fibre, sugary, processed a lot, and just not providing really any protein there. So now let's start to look at some delicious breakfast options that do meet the guidelines. So eggs have we've already looked at an English breakfast, but obviously eggs can be in any form: omelettes, boiled eggs, scrambled eggs, and are excellent source of protein and an excellent source of healthy fats. Really, really important for brain health. So it's the perfect breakfast option, really, and especially for children starting their day. Oats are fantastic. They are slow releasing carbohydrates. If you include in there some forms of protein in the forms of nuts and seeds, that's really helpful too, and plenty of mixed berries and things there, providing lots of antioxidants and fibre as well. And then you could go for a bit more of a continental style here, where you've got more of a savoury thing going on. You've got some protein in the form of the cheese, but you've also got lots of veggies and lots of healthy fats and variety as well. You could go for very good quality whole grain bread. Rye bread is really excellent with some nut butter. It doesn't have to be peanut butter, it can be almond nut butter, it can be cashew nut butter. Healthy pancakes, they don't have to be unhealthy, and we've got a great few recipes coming up to help you with that. And natural yogurt, so full fat natural yogurt, without the flavorings and added sugar and everything else. Makes a great base for a breakfast. Add in lots of nuts. Walnuts are particularly fantastic for the brain and contain omega-3s. And then you've got your mixed berries or other variety of fruit in there for your fibre and antioxidants and minerals and vitamins. So starting the day with a great breakfast has many benefits, including feeling satisfied, feeling full of energy, being able to concentrate and get things done without feeling distracted by cravings and dips in energy. There are many strategies to achieve consistent energy throughout the day, and choosing a great breakfast is one of them. So let's look at the recipes provided here. The overnight oats are a fantastic option. When you're back at work, this is something you can make the night before, leave them in the fridge, and they're ready for you to take in the morning. And these are some options here. If you can't tolerate oats for whatever reason, you could try quinoa flakes or buckwheat flakes as your base. Then you've got protein powder or Greek yogurt, chopped nuts, chia seeds, flax seeds, lots of protein options there. Obviously seeds and nuts providing so many other nutrients too. Doesn't have to be cow's milk if you can't tolerate, if you're dairy free or don't tolerate cow's milk for whatever reason, you can use a plant-based milk. And you can add in any kind of toppings, any fruit toppings, things that work well again, fresh berries, apple, pear, grated apples, lovely and delicious in it, peach, nectarine, plums, apricots, that kind of thing. Then we've got some healthy pancakes. So there's 3 different options here actually, which are great. Just banana mashed with egg makes fantastic pancakes. And there's also an oat option there and a vegan option. So you don't need the eggs necessarily. You can make flaxseed eggs instead, which helps to bind it. So that's giving you the option there. And some lovely toppings here. Don't have to be like chocolate spread and jam, but they can be a healthy jam, a berry chia jam, which is fantastic and really easy to make. Cinnamon yogurt topping, a nut butter topping, or just some fruit, which is fantastic. So that's a great recipe. There's also the paleo granola, this is a fantastic recipe again. If it's just packed full of nutrients, really great nutrients, and if you're grain free, this will work for you. And also it's a low carb option as well. So really, really packed with lots of goodness in there. And the problem with buying granola from the shops is it is probably the most sugar laden of all the cereals, mostly. I mean, there's lots of brands out there, and there's one brand that's that is a low GL one, but apart from that, you really are going to struggle to find low sugar options with granola. So watch out for that. Check the ingredients list. So what are you going to do differently this week? And I'm going to set a challenge for you this week, step by step, to help you move forward. So my challenge for you is introduce 2 new style breakfasts this week. Try one of the new recipes. Observe how you feel for the rest of the day. And have a great start to the week. So really give it a go. Let me know how you do as well. I've also included a few useful resources. So there's the BBC Good Food Healthy Breakfast Recipes, and there's the Jamie Oliver Healthy Breakfast Ideas. These might give you some extra inspiration as well. So next week, we will be covering the concept of balanced plate meals and how to create assembly family meals that don't require hours in the kitchen. So we will be putting these together and getting a video out to you for next week. Now, if you do have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. Please do post below and I will do my best to get back to you and answer as many as I can. Take care, stay well, and have a great week.